What's up YouTube, this is Groudon Empire, and today I'm here to bring you guys something different. I usually do battle spot single ladder games, but today I want to bring you guys a mixed OU Wi-Fi battle that I had versus NiPPs. NiPPs' YouTube and Twitter will be in the description. NiPPs is a very entertaining YouTuber, does Pokemon content, so if you're interested in watching his content, definitely check those links out. Now, before I go into this battle, I wanted to talk to you guys about some housekeeping stuff. There hasn't been 2 uploads the past couple of days because, number one, YouTube processing has been very stupid, and then secondly, I have been mildly depressed. So in this state of, in this tough times going on in my life, I can't really do something as hardcore competitive as battle spot laddering, or any laddering for that matter. But playing versus NiPPs, it's another story, right? But doing hardcore laddering, I can't do that. Like serious laddering, I just can't. So there will be some delay on those, but I do hope to continue to bring whatever I can to you guys. And also, there are 160 plus videos on this channel, like 80 or so, like 78 episodes or whatever of the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Battle Spot series. So if you are interested, just start rewatching the stuff from the past if you watched those already months ago, because it'll be like it's fresh. And if you haven't watched those, definitely check those out, because there are a lot of videos on the channel. And if you haven't watched them, definitely check them out in the meantime. So yeah, let's just start talking about my opponent's team and my team and how we're going to do things. So NiPPs has a series called Salty Run Back. And basically it's best of 3. Whatever Smogon format that he says, or whatever format he says overall. Best of 3, and we both pick 10 Pokemon each. And every game we ban 2 Pokemon, and we can only build from the rest of the 8 Pokemon that were not banned. And game 2 cannot have the same ban list as game 1, but game 3 and game 1 can have the same ban lists. So for game 1, I'm not going to tell you all 10 Pokemon we picked, but what I will tell you is a Pokemon that I banned from his team and the Pokemon I banned from mine. So each of our teams has a team captain. My team captain is Talonflame, his team captain is Kyurem-Black. And the Pokemon that he banned from my team were Swampert and Landorus. And those are 2 Pokemon I wasn't planning on using to begin with, so that was good for me. And on his team, I banned Trevenant and Metagross, because I know for a fact Rock Polish Metagross destroys my team. And Trevenant, I don't really have the most reliable way of taking it down. So those are annoying pokes, and I banned those. And let's get into the battle now. So you see my opponent's team, I see my opponent's team. And unlike Battle Spot Single, you don't need to go into too much detail. So you just have to pick your lead in 6v6. So I look at my opponent's team and I see a heavy Beedrill weakness. Like, Beedrill can take down Heatran, Florges, Gardevoir, Granbull, Starmie. Like, I just need Kyurem-Black to get whittled down and taken down, and it's good. I have 5 teammates for that, right? But yeah, so I'm going to start off with Beedrill, and I'm going to Mega Evolve and see what's going to happen from first turn. So let's start the battle and see what happens. Remember, if you guys are hyped for this video and you end up liking this video, remember to click that like button, whether you're doing it now or later. Show the support if you truly enjoyed the video or are hyped for it. Really helps out. My opponent does start off with a Gardevoir, and they can probably be Scarfed. So whatever they are, because if they're max speed and they're Mega, whatever the case might be, I'm going to protect, Mega Evolve and protect, and we'll see what happens. If my opponent goes for a Psyshock, I think they're Scarfed. There's no way in hell you're going to stay in on a Beedrill and go for that otherwise. He didn't even Mega Evolve, so he has to be Scarf. So I predict that, and I go out into Weavile because I'm immune to Psyshock, and he goes to Psyshock, and now he switches out. I predict to switch into Granbull, and I go for an Icicle Crash. And he brings out Bertha the Granbull. My prediction was correct. We'll see how much damage Icicle Crash does to Granbull. It does land, it doesn't miss, so that's nice. What will happen? How much damage will Bertha take? Bertha takes no damage at all. That's a Life Orb Stab, Icicle Crash. That did nothing. I mean, obviously he's intimidate, but still, that did nothing. I mean, wow. All right, so I switch out into Gligar because I don't really have anything else I want to switch into a freaking Granbull. My opponent makes a switch out into something. What is this? Starmie. So that was a great play on my opponent's part. This turn he goes for the Scald. I predict him to go for something, and I just sack off my Gligar. And my Gligar didn't faint to the Scald or whatever he went for, so I just go for a U-turn, because if I survive, I can go for a U-turn. If I faint, I faint. Because honestly speaking, I don't really need Stealth Rock, so it doesn't matter. I can just get a safe U-turn off to bring Beedrill in safely. Then I can go for a Poison Jab, because at that range, Starmie is going to faint. My opponent does go out into the Heatran predicting something, whether it's U-turn or Poison Jab, but what they do end up messing up on is next turn I can go for a Drill Run, and Drill Run has a 98% chance to one-hit KO standard Spadef Heatran, which is what he had. So, you know, 98% chance if it lands to Oko, so that crit really didn't matter. I mean, 2% it mattered, but I mean, come on, let's do the math here. But yeah, yeah, that happened. I protect this turn because I'm predicting my opponent. I want to see what my opponent does, because my opponent is going to be choice locked into a move. So my opponent does go for the Moonblast and is choice locked into the Moonblast, and then I just go for a Poison Jab because, you know, my opponent can't do anything else, because Moonblast isn't going to Oko me, so I don't have to worry about that. It goes out into Granbull. Granbull eats it up, but it's not going to survive the next one. So we'll see what happens next turn. Granbull is sacked off, which is a good play on my opponent's part, I would believe. Yeah, because my opponent's really weak to Beedrill. Next turn, my opponent goes out into this thing, and it's a good play because my opponent can just set up a sub and have a good time. So I'm just going to U-turn out because I have to. This turn, I get a crit. Unfortunate for the game. You know, how much that would have mattered at the end of the game is another story, but the fact that the crit came when I was at -1, it makes the game less enjoyable. You know, it really does, because it's just, you know, it's just like a kick in the nuts, basically. But, you know, the game is the game, whatever it is, you have to play through it. But yeah, you can't do anything about it. I go out into Starmie because Starmie is my most expendable member, and I'm faster than Kyurem-Black. I can break the sub, and I might end up going down to a Bolt Strike or something. Goes for the Dragon Claw, so it doesn't have Bolt Strike. That's interesting. Dragon Claw doesn't Oko. And I go for Psyshock next. No, I go for a Hydro Pump this turn, predicting my opponent to switch out into something. If I miss, that's fine too, because my opponent can't set up a substitute. So I'm in a win-win situation. It really doesn't matter. So I land a Hydro Pump. Kyurem-Black goes down. I'm in great shape. I'm still alive. Life Orb Recoil doesn't take me down. And this thing comes in. And at this turn, I'm thinking I can save Starmie for the Florges because I have Psyshock. So I'll just sack off the Gligar, because Gligar, I was expecting Gligar to be done earlier anyway. So, you know, just sack it off. Whatever happens to Gligar doesn't matter because that thing is gone. And Gligar's gone. And this turn, I can go out into my Beedrill because I resist Moonblast. I'm not going to get O-Code, and I can just Poison Jab away. There are no problems. So at this point, it's basically pretty much game over. As you'll see, Poison Jab just destroys everything. I mean, there is that Gardevoir remaining with the Scarf, so I can't exactly guarantee my victory yet. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. He traces adaptability again. None of this matters. Well, I mean, it sort of does, honestly speaking, because I want to eat up a powerful Moonblast or Psychic or whatever. But I do sack off Starmie because, you know, Starmie, 4 health, doesn't matter. I see if my opponent's going to lock themselves into Psyshock or Moonblast, and I react accordingly. An adaptability Psyshock, not even a resisted, not even Magnezone wants to take an adaptability Psyshock. A Weavile would love to take it, but I mean, there's a risk of eating a Moonblast, right? At this turn, I just go for Specs Flash Cannon, because this is a Specs Magnezone, and that does great damage. But yeah, and the special defense drop, okay, again, this special defense drop at the end was not necessary. That happening is just, again, a kick in the nuts. It ruins enjoyability. Because it's like, now you think of, oh, there was a special defense drop, there was that crit, and it's like, I mean, I mean, as a player, you can't help but notice the fact that that happened, you know, because it changes the like, will it change win or loss? Most likely not. But will it change the enjoyability of the game? Yes, it changes the enjoyability. And whenever you're playing, you always want to have a good time, you know. Yeah. Sometimes Pokemon does that to you. But yeah, I'm just glad that NiPPs is still my friend. I'm glad about that, because, you know, sometimes hacks really ruins the relationship between you and other people. But me and NiPPs, hopefully, you know, things are gonna be good from here on out. But yo, there is game 2, there is game 3. The name of the series is Salty Runback. So there is no problem with anybody being salty. There's no reason for anyone to be salty at this point anyway, for the crits and whatnot. But it's a Salty Runback, so we'll see what happens and whatnot. But definitely check his channel out, because I definitely think if you're gonna watch Salty Runback, you should watch it on his channel. But yeah, for you guys that like my content, again, I did tell you at the beginning of this video what is up. Please understand, and the support is greatly appreciated for everything. Again, watch the playlist for the different series that I have on the channel. There's a high chance you probably didn't watch all of the episodes, and if you have, you know, you probably watched it months ago, so you can just watch it over. You know, there's 160, 70 plus videos on the channel, and that's a lot of content, so definitely enough to keep you guys busy for this rough time. Hope you guys understand, and hope to continue to bring you guys quality content. There will be game 2, and if there is a game 3, you'll see that as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please remember to click that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're interested for other competitive Pokemon content. This was Groudon Empire. Peace out.